Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news now. When we talk about the 49ers, especially heading into this season, there's always a buzz, a certain optimism mixed with a bit of concern. And this year, that concern is centered around one of the most critical parts of any team's offense, the wide receiver group. You see, right now, the 49ers might actually have one of the thinnest receiver core they've had in recent years. And that's saying something, considering the team's history of deep, dynamic pass catchers. But this season, the situation is a little more complicated. Brandon Ayuk, who's been such a vital part of this offense, is currently on the PUP list, which means he's not going to be available at least early in the season. When you think about Ayuk, he's not just a receiver. He's a reliable target, a guy who has grown into a true number one, capable of making those big plays down the field, and more importantly, someone Brock Purdy clearly trusts. His injury, which is a torn ACL, is not just a setback for him personally, but also for the team's offensive rhythm early on. But it's not just Ayuk who's on the sidelines. Ricky Pearsall, who many 49ers fans were excited about after a promising offseason, is also on the physically unable to perform list. Pearsall missed the entire offseason program due to a hamstring injury. And as we all know, hamstring injuries for wide receivers are tricky. This one has already taken 2 months to heal, which hints at a grade 2 strain, basically a partial tear. That kind of injury isn't something you just come back from overnight. It raises questions about Pearsall's durability and whether he'll be able to stay healthy once the season kicks off. For a team that's already dealing with some uncertainty at the position, losing Pearsall for any extended period could be a real blow, especially if he can't get back to full health quickly. And it doesn't stop there. The 49ers have another situation to manage: Jauan Jennings. Now, Jennings has been a valuable piece in this offense, a guy who stepped up in big moments, especially on third down and in the red zone. But his contract situation is creating some tension. The team needs to decide whether to extend Jennings or potentially trade him. If they don't make a move soon, contract drama could overshadow the entire training camp, much like it did last year. That's never ideal, especially when you're trying to build cohesion and chemistry ahead of the season. The front office is in a tricky spot. Do they prioritize locking Jennings in with a new deal, or do they look to trade him to gain some draft capital or younger talent? It's a strategic decision that could impact the team's depth at receiver. Adding to the complication, veteran Demarcus Robinson, who was brought in to add experience and depth, might face suspension. Reports suggest he's likely to be suspended for the first few games of the season after getting arrested for a DUI. That's never good news, especially for a team that's trying to start strong. With Robinson out, the starting wide receivers for Week 1 could very well be Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins, assuming Pearsall isn't ready and Jennings is still in the middle of contract negotiations or trade talks. Watkins, a rookie, has impressed during OTAs and minicamp, showing flashes of the potential that made him a mid-round pick. It's a young group, and the 49ers will need these guys to step up early on. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Despite all these issues at wide receiver, the 49ers still have options on the free agent market. The team could look to sign some veteran help to shore up their depth. Names like Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper have been floated around as potential targets. Both are seasoned, dependable receivers who could fit into San Francisco's offense seamlessly. According to Bleacher Report, the 49ers would be wise to explore signing Cooper, especially considering Brandon Ayuk's injury and the possibility that they might not have him available early in the season. Cooper, with his route-running ability and reliable hands, could be a perfect complement to the team's young receivers. Similarly, if Pearsall's injury lingers longer than expected, and Watkins doesn't quite hit the ground running, the team might turn to Cooper or Allen to fill the role of the primary slot receiver. Both bring experience and leadership, which could be invaluable for a young quarterback like Brock Purdy, who's still growing into that role and needs reliable targets to develop chemistry with. The idea of adding a veteran like Amari Cooper isn't just about immediate depth, it's also about providing a steadying influence for the entire offense. Now, it's worth noting that the 49ers, historically, have been cautious about signing veteran wide receivers. They already have a relatively experienced group, and there's often a preference to develop young talent internally. But given the current situation, injuries, contract uncertainties, and potential suspensions, it wouldn't be surprising if the front office decides to bring in some proven production to keep the offense afloat until their young receivers are ready. And what about the long term? Well, this entire scenario puts a spotlight on the team's strategy for building their receiver core. Do they stick with the guys they have, hoping Pearsall and Watkins can step up, or do they make a splash with a veteran? It's a decision that could have ripple effects, not just for this season but for the future direction of the team. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about the bigger picture here. The 49ers have been one of the most consistently competitive teams in the NFC over the past few seasons. With a solid defense, a dynamic running game, and a quarterback who's proven he can win, they're always in the playoff picture. But every year, it's the little things, injuries, depth, health, that can make or break their Super Bowl aspirations. And right now, the wide receiver position is looking a little thinner than usual, which could impact their ability to stretch the field and keep defenses honest. This season, Brock Purdy will be under the spotlight again. After his impressive rookie campaign, fans are expecting him to take another step forward. But to do that effectively, he needs those reliable targets, those big-bodied receivers who can win contested catches and make plays over the middle. That's why the potential addition of a veteran like Cooper or Allen could be a game-changer. Their presence could help preserve the offensive consistency, especially if the younger guys struggle with consistency or injuries. It's also worth noting that the 49ers have a rich history of overcoming adversity. Whether it was the 2019 season when they lost Jimmy Garoppolo and still made it to the Super Bowl, or the resilience they've shown under coaches like Kyle Shanahan and Jim Harbaugh, they know how to adapt. This current receiver situation, though challenging, is just another chapter in that story. It's about how they manage these hurdles, how they develop their younger players, and whether they can bring in some veteran leadership to fill the gaps. And speaking of leadership, the coaching staff, led by Shanahan, is known for their innovative offensive schemes and their ability to get the most out of their personnel. They've shown a willingness to adapt and be flexible. If Pearsall can't stay healthy, or if Jennings' contract situation drags on, expect the 49ers to get creative. Maybe they'll lean more heavily on tight ends or running backs in the passing game, or perhaps they'll implement some new formations to maximize the talents of their available receivers. The season is still a few months away, but these early indications about the receiver group are creating buzz among fans and analysts alike. It's a reminder that football is a constantly evolving game, and that even a small injury or contractual issue can have ripple effects across the entire team's strategy. The 49ers are no strangers to adversity, and their depth, coaching, and young talent will be put to the test right from the start. If Pearsall can recover quickly and Watkins continues to develop, they could still field a competitive group. But if injuries and off-field issues persist, the team may need to explore those veteran options sooner rather than later. The NFC West is stacked this year, with teams like the Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals all vying for dominance. The 49ers want to maintain their edge, but that's going to require not just talent, but also smart roster management and a little bit of luck. The wide receiver position, often overlooked, could be the difference maker in whether they make a deep playoff run or fall short of their Super Bowl ambitions. And as always, the team's ability to adapt, to overcome setbacks, and to develop their young players will be critical. So fans, keep a close eye on how this receiver situation unfolds in the coming weeks. Will the 49ers sign a veteran like Cooper or Allen? Will Pearsall be ready in time? Can Watkins step up as a rookie? These are the questions that will shape their season. But one thing is certain. The passion and resilience of this team have always been their greatest assets. And if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Kyle Shanahan and his coaching staff will do everything they can to keep this team competitive and hungry. The road to another Super Bowl isn't easy, but if they can navigate these receiver hurdles, they'll be in a strong position to contend once again. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest San Francisco 49ers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this wide receiver situation? Do you think the team should make a move on the veteran market? Or do you believe that Pearsall, Watkins, and the young guys can hold down the fort until Ayuk is back and fully healthy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and with all these question marks at receiver, it's sure to be a roller coaster ride. Thanks for joining me today, and as always, go 49ers.